What's up, Yankee fans? I'm Ryan Garcia from Fireside Yankees. If you're joining here for this live show, we're doing an afternoon live stream, and we're still going live tonight, although it will be at 6:30. It'll be a longer show. We'll go from 6:30 to 8, guaranteed. I do have something to do at 8 in terms of content, so hopefully by being on here and streaming, it'll give us an opportunity to maybe see some moves go down in real time. That's also part of this kind of motive here. The idea is to be live as often as possible, kind of be around to see if things go down. And hopefully we get something happening during the winter meetings. While Alex and I recorded this morning, we had the news that Kyle Schwarber was signing back with the Philadelphia Phillies. And then we found out just minutes later that Edwin Diaz had signed a contract with the Los Angeles Dodgers, which was a big shakeup, a big shock for the New York Mets. We'll talk about those two deals, what that can mean for the rest of the league, how that can open up the market, all that and more, again, right here on Fireside Yankees. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. If you're watching on YouTube, again, like and subscribe. If you're watching on a mobile device, I'm not sure if hype points work for live videos, but if that feature is there, we'd appreciate if you hype it. And without further ado, let's just start. And I guess I'll start with questions at first. We'll start with questions. I think questions are kind of where you guys, where we want to go. And then we'll talk about Mackenzie Gore. We'll talk about things of that nature right here. So let's take a look at the first question. We've got small market Yankees. Not a single guy who's I think is on their board has left the board yet. Can't wait till we clean out the bench player market. Yeah, I'm gonna just give the same responses there. Yo, what's up, Paranormal? In the Funhouse, hope you're doing well. Incoming fourth in the division, we'll see. Yo, what's up, L Train? Hope you're doing well. Tatis Jr. to the Yankees. No, the Yankees are not trading for Fernando Tatis Jr., and that is because I would be absolutely stunned if the San Diego Padres were to trade, number one, their best contract, and number two, their best their best draw. I mean, Fernando Tatis Jr. is the single most attractive trade piece on the Padres, but he's also the single biggest draw. Like, if you're a Padres fan, this is your franchise guy. He's electric. He's their best player. He's the most marketable player on the team. He's their highest jersey seller. He's the biggest draw for the Yankees. And I mean, for the Padres, sorry. And when we look at the Yankees and kind of like, this is like if the Yankees were rumored to trade Judge while he was under his previous contract, or if the Yankees or if like the Mets were rumored to trade Juan Soto. I understand the Padres have financial constraints, but Tatis is one of the best contracts in baseball. I'd be completely stunned if the Yankees trade for Fernando Tatis Jr., and I'd be stunned in the first place if Tatis gets traded. This is not specific to the Yankees. This is in general. I don't know why I took off my glasses. I can't read that far. But yeah, the Padres are not trading Fernando Tatis Jr. That is not happening. That is completely off the table. That is not happening. There's no logic behind it. There's no logic behind it. There's nothing to suggest that will be the case. So that's not happening. Now, when do the winter meetings end? I believe they end on Thursday, or Thursdays when people start, like, that's the end for good. So that is kind of where I think it does end, but Wednesday is usually the final day of, like, everyone being there. Most realistic right-handed player, trader, free agent. I'd say Ahmed Rozar is the most likely right-handed hitter to return or to sign or to be acquired by the New York Yankees. Cosmo Okamoto is someone who they haven't been taken out of the sweepstakes for, according to the Yankee source, who again is very tapped in on NPB information. But I don't believe the Yankees are going to be paying Okamoto, nor do I think Okamoto is going to go to a team that can't guarantee him a starting spot. Now, let's kind of look at some other players. Austin Hayes, Rob Refsnyder, those are some names as well that I could see on the Yankees. I don't think it's going to be a starting everyday position player, but maybe it ends up being that. We'll see. Fernando Tatis Jr., we talked about that. Miguel and Romero for the pen would really bolster things. Yeah, I mean, Trevor McGill and Jojo Romero, if the Yankees added that to their bullpen, they've got one of the best bullpens in the game. So, yes, I think that would be a big, big, big upgrade for the bullpen. While the Orioles matched the Phillies' offer for Schwarber, that's real, man. I can't believe that. I can't believe that happened. Yeah, the Schwarber deal is a big contract. And don't get me wrong, I don't think you celebrate finishing second in the sweepstakes, but it does show that maybe the Orioles are willing to spend more than we think and willing to go out and make an aggressive pursuit of a player. Ken Rosenthal reports that of outfielder Kyle Tucker and first baseman Pete Alonso as first baseman or as players the Orioles are considering. They're in talks for Framber Valdez and Robert Suarez. Those are left-handed pitchers. They're willing to spend. It's a little bit weird that the that they're going to be willing to spend, considering, again, like, I don't really know what their belief is there. Now, for the Reds, not really sure they're going to go after everybody else. That being, again, reported by Ken Rosenthal. So we'll roll with that information. Ace P says, what's up, Brian? Hopeball as well. I wonder if the Yankees are going to actually make a move that will be a good move. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, time will tell. They're linked to players. They're interested. They're trying to make moves happen. They're having conversations as we speak. But whether that ends up being a real deal player or a real deal situation or not, we'll see. We'll see. What's the news on the Yankees? Nothing new this morning. So we're just kind of, I guess, well, there are some updates on like Mackenzie Gore, like what the Nationals will be looking for, which is something I want to talk about. It's more so the ripple effects of the move made by the Dodgers and the move made by the Phillies. Let's see. How do teams even compete with what the Dodgers are doing, signing, making them a guaranteed dynasty season? Yankees are going to have to absolutely cook after that one. Yeah, look, the only thing that you can really look at in a positive note here is the fact that the Edwin Diaz signing in that contract, that the Dodgers are in the National League. You're not competing with them for a pennant. You're not competing with them for a division. You're competing with them if you get to a World Series with them. So that's not to say that the Yankees should be comfortable with where they're at, comfortable as an organization, comfortable with their roster. It's more so to say that they don't have to at least worry about the Dodgers being in their division. Again, that is, or in their league. That's not good. It's not what you want, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Definitely not happening, but Tatis in the Yankee uniform, yeah, it'd be sick. Mets want to pay one player and other players see it's all about Soto. I do wonder why Edwin Diaz did not want to go back to the Mets, because that's what it seemed like what happened here. I don't know if it's a matter of the Mets not offering enough. Clearly, he did not want to go back, and I do wonder why that was the case. Why Edwin Diaz felt compelled to leave the New York Mets is certainly going to be a curious case, and I think that'll be a big talking point for the Mets throughout the rest of the offseason. Random hypothetical. Would you rather Giannis to the Knicks or Tatis to the Yankees? I'd say Tatis to the Yankees. And the reason I'd say that is because that would just change. That would be a blockbuster of all blockbusters. Now I know I tweeted out, I don't think the Yankees, I would trade the Yankees whiffing on every free agent for Giannis to the Knicks, but I don't consider Tatis a realistic opportunity to acquire a player. So if I had the unrealistic chance of signing him, that would be the situation. Let's see what goes on here. You can't offer Soto $765 million and then cheap out next offseason. Go give Tucker $450 million. Yeah, I mean, I think Tucker would be a great fit for the Yankees. I don't think the Yankees are going to sign him. That's the unfortunate thing here. I've said it time and time again. You know, I think they should prefer Tucker, but they're not going to go after Tucker. It seems like Bellinger is going to be their guy. Ooh, this is a good question. Let me hype up this video. Thank you, Ryan Beck. Y'all get ready for the realest mofo on Yankee YouTube. Ryan, the answer Garcia. Appreciate that, Ryan. Hope you're having a good day, man. Let's answer a couple questions. Gore plus Belly. Give it to me. I'd be happy about that. Gore, Cabrera. There's another Mackenzie Gore question. I think it's from Joe. Let me see if I can find this here. Or unless I did answer it. I also have the memory of a goldfish, which isn't great. Like I'm not gonna lie. Sleep has been a little weird lately. Macking there, who's up macking their Gore right now? I unfortunately, if I did that, I would get demonetized immediately. Now let's talk a little bit about let's talk about Mackenzie Gore. So Mackenzie Gore, I would prefer him to Edward Cabrera. I kind of wrote that in an article. I did write that in an article. I look at Edward Cabrera as a good pitcher, but I think Mackenzie Gore, I like the upside a little more. I like the durability a little more. I feel more comfortable rolling with Cabrera as a starting pitcher. And in the regards of Mackenzie Gore, I personally believe that the Yankees can get a lot of upside out of him. So we're gonna start sharing screens here because that's my thing. I like doing that. I like sharing the screen. I like showing you guys, kind of take you down my weird brain here. So look at Mackenzie Gore and his pitch plots. Mackenzie Gore is a pitcher who struggles to move the ball laterally. Laterally is where he struggles to move the baseball. And so we look at this like east-west movement here. He throws his changeup 10% of the time. That's interesting. That's good. And he had good swing and miss numbers on it and good underlying metrics, but not a lot of movement to the right. So it's very much north and south. And if you want to compare this to another pitcher the Yankees have kind of absorbed or added in recent years, look at Carlos Rodon. Carlos Rodon very much a north and south pitcher in 2023, similar to Mackenzie Gore. And then if you look at how his roster how his mix is expanded in 2024, we saw a little more of the changeup. We saw him get a little bit more of that, that arm side movement. And then in 2025, fully embraced it. Now he covered almost every plane he needs to cover in terms of pitch movement, down and in, so down and away to righties, down and away to down and into righties, upstairs. So he had the down, up left, up. He doesn't really have a cutter, I guess. That's really the thing. He doesn't have like up right or up into righties. But me personally, I don't think he needs that pitch necessarily. Mackenzie Gore, he's in a similar spot as Rodon was before he was a Yankee or before he added the sinker. Very north-south, doesn't have enough coverage here for him to be an excellent starting pitcher, in my opinion. And this is where that changeup comes into play. Let's look at the changeup real quick. 47.2% whiff. Big difference between expected and actual results. His expected OPS is way lower than his actual OPS on that changeup. If you want to look at the movement of this pitch, it's a good amount of vertical separation off of it. So I again, you want to have a pitcher who can try and access. You want to try and get Mackenzie Gore to access and hone in on this part of his pitch plot a little more. And I think the Yankees can get him there. The Yankees are a good organization with pitch design. Look at the two lefties, the two prominent lefties they've invested in over the last 3 years. It's Rodon and it's Fried. Both of them have either A, added a sinker, or B, improved their sinker dramatically. Fried saw a massive increase in stuff plus with his sinker. We'll pull up Max Fried's baseball savant right now. Actually, I think he's another good example of a pitcher who the Yankees did some good work with in terms of arm side movement. Let's look at 2024 Max Fried. Look at where the sinker is. Doesn't have a lot of drop relative to the four-seam fastball, not a ton of drop, and a decent amount of arm side movement. Then look at 2025. Look at how much that shifts down. It shifts a lot down. The Yankees, and the changeup as well, shifted a good bit down. So the Yankees were able to get more depth and clean up those pitch shapes. And the Braves are a better organization than the Nationals are. The Nationals are notorious for being behind the 8 ball in that regard. I also want to display a graphic I had made on Canva, and I think I included it in today's podcast. Let me just try and just share my screen here. Look at Garrett Cole, final 2 years in Pittsburgh. Mackenzie Gore, final 2 years in Washington. Like, these are talented pitchers, similar fastball velocity. And just look at the similarities. Like, Cole hadn't found himself as an ace. Gore hasn't found himself as an ace. Now, granted, Cole, way more work that ended up getting done with him. I think Cole was a more unrefined pitcher. Information and data was less accessible back then. We are better. Even like the worst organization in baseball is better at assessing pitching than like the average organization in baseball in 2017. So this isn't a one-for-one fair comparison, but I do believe that we are looking at similar kind of situations in the sense of a pitcher who has ace level stuff, who is not pitching like an ace because of the organization he's in being so backwards, going to an organization that's dramatically better at pitch design, at pitch quantification, at pitching data, all those kinds of things. So let's kind of shift away from the gears of Mackenzie Gore a little bit. And let's keep looking at other questions. Right, I'm at work, but I want to tune in for a bit. Really appreciate it, man. Hope you're doing well. Sandy Alcantara to the Yankees. I think you have a bounce back year after a full season post-surgery. Look, I think the Yankees, they'll be interested. They'll kick around. Tatis was a player the Yankees liked. Tatis was a player. Not Tatis. Oh, my God. Now it's going to get clipped, and I'm going to have to, shake that off. I meant Sandy. Sandy was a player the Yankees liked at the deadline. And they made serious grounds on that conversation. It never came to fruition, but I do think if the Yankees were to revisit them, they'd be one of the top teams in that bidding war. Do you like Gore as a 3 or 4 starter for this team? And do you think it would take a lot? I think it would take some young position players, but I think that Will Warren and Jason Dominguez would be players of interest for Mackenzie Gore and for the Nationals. Now, I also want to point out in the 3 or 4 conversation, I think it'd be your 3 before on opening day. I think it'd be Fried, Schlittler, Gore, Warren, and Heel, or Yarbrough and Heel, or Warren and Yarbrough, depending on who you trade. But I will say, once you get your guys back, he's like a 5-starter, essentially. I mean, you look at your rotation, you'd be bringing Cole and Rodon back. You'd be kind of slicing off the heel Warren Yarbrough part of your rotation, the two of those three guys. And you have a rotation of Fried, Cole, Rodon, Schlittler, Gore. I mean, that's the best rotation in baseball, arguably. That's dominant. Depending on how you can get that upside, at least the best in the American League, I would think. Maybe not necessarily the best in baseball, depending on what the Dodgers do and kind of the way that their rotation can stay healthy. But yeah, I do think Sandy would make sense. And I think that for Gore, 3 or 4, if everyone's healthy, probably ends up being your 5 if you're fully healthy, unless you have Schlittler ahead of him in the depth chart. I'd like Cashman to get these bullpen moves down rather soon. Yeah, the bullpen market is definitely moving. So you definitely want to make sure you're not left behind in that regard. Want to remind everyone to like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell if you guys are listening. So again, like and subscribe. And what you commented on that, we checked that. Thank you, Wicked 50 Cal again. Yankees are not doing anything substantial to help them win a World Series. You've gotten content with being a playoff team. I'm tired of people saying Tucker's not a good fit. So I agree and disagree. I agree that Tucker's a good fit. If you don't think Tucker's a good fit for the Yankees, I don't know if we're watching the same team. I don't know if we're watching the same player. Now, in regard to the first part, I don't know that they're not doing anything. I think we got to kind of wait and see and let the offseason play out. What's the latest regarding to third base and catcher? Don't think they're adding a catcher unless the right-handed backup catcher to complement Austin Wells. Third base, I mean, they've shown some interest in Brendan Donovan, but we don't really know what's going to go on there. If it takes LaGrange to get Gorham out, depends. I think it depends. If it's just LaGrange for Gore, I would do it, but it depends. I think it's all relative to what else you have to add on top of that. That's my kind of take on that. Dodgers closed their trading for Tarek Skubal. Hope that's not the case. I haven't seen that anywhere, but I hope that's not the case. Yeah, I mean, look, for the National League, maybe, but again, like you're in the American League, you just have to get out of you just have to get into the World Series, which is obviously easier said than done, harder to actually pull off, but you have to hope that that's not the team you run into or that you run into them when they're cold. That's kind of how I would view it. Schwarber's deal makes it likely that Belly will move out of the Yankees' comfort zone. I don't know. I mean, I think Schwarber's market carried more value because he's a guy who teams view as like a legit elite hitter. Like this is a top 10 hitter in the sport. Let's look at kind of the market here too. Schwarber's market was very well known. It was very well pronounced. Teams that were in on Schwarber are not known to be in on, they're not expected to be in on a player like Cody Bellinger. And I think that's a big part of this as well. I'm trying to fix the fact that I have Yahoo as my main thing, and that sucks right now. Like this is really annoying, and this is going to create some issues with how quickly I can type things down. But in regard to like the what Kyle Schwarber is, look at the last 3 seasons. Kyle Schwarber is a top hitter in this sport. He's last 3 years top 20. Last 2 years, where is he? Top 10? Yeah, top 10. Like expected weighted on base average, awesome in that regard. Tons of damage contact. This guy's an exit velocity monster. Average exit velocity, boom. Barrel percentage, boom. Like this guy is a demon in that regard. And I think it's a different to bet on a player's offensive value than their defense. Defense is more volatile on a year-to-year basis. So I don't think this is necessarily an indicator of Bellinger's market. It's an indicator of his market, which ended up being pretty strong. So let's see. Cashman needs to get relief pitchers, Pete Fairbanks and Brad Keller. Again, Brad Keller, player of interest. I would like Brad Keller a lot. I'd be cool if Andujar coming back as a left hand as a bench piece against lefties. The due is due, man. The due is due. If they don't get Belly or Tucker, they're screwed. I'm sorry, but they're done. It depends. Again, it depends. Like their off season is what I have to see their off season for me to tell you good, bad, good enough, not good enough. We're either in for amazing high and insane low IMO. Yeah, I mean that's every off season, right? I think Ryan McMahon's probably the most movable contract on the roster because I don't think it'd be that crazy to assume a team would be willing to pay like, I don't know, $13 to $14 million. So a year for him, I don't know. Or at least like flip back a player who's making money in arbitration. That's kind of where I'm at. If they re-sign Bellinger, do you think there's any chance they trade Trent Grisham before the season starts? I haven't heard that they're going to trade Trent, but I haven't heard they're not going to trade Trent. That's a really like stupid and dumb answer. But like point is, I don't know. I can't really sit here and tell you that like I know they're going to trade Grisham, or I know they're not going to trade Grisham, or I know this. I don't know what they're going to do with Grisham. I haven't been told that they're going to trade Grisham. That's kind of my where I'm at here. I've not been told they will trade Trent Grisham. And you can trade Grisham before June, to clarify. You just have to get his approval. He has to waive essentially what is a no trade clause. Would getting Mackenzie Gore make the Yankees too lefty? I disagree, because guys are going to get hurt. Lefties are really good. Lefties perform better than righties. So, yeah. So today would be the biggest day for trades and signings, potentially. Any news on the Yankees? Nothing I know outside of their interest in Mackenzie Gore is real. I did independently verify that. And the Yankees are one of the main players in that. And to kind of add on to this, it was reported by The Athletic that the Nationals are looking for controllable young players. I know Jason Dominguez specifically. Kind of played my hand here. The Nationals outfielders are something that they could be looking for. Mets need to learn to get uncomfortable in terms of years. Well, they did with Soto, right? Like, is it fair to say that it's uncomfortable to have given him $800 million? I think that at the start of the offseason, that would have been an uncomfortable number. But, I agree, like, on like the middle of the market, not even the middle of the market, but like some of these other guys, Mets have to be willing to do that. But with Diaz, I mean, it's got to be noted. I mean, Edwin Diaz signed a deal, and he didn't take that deal back to the Mets. He did not go back to the Mets with that deal. So, yeah. I mean, would I have given Schwarber $150 million over 5 years? I don't know. Would be insane. Won't happen. Mets spent all their money last year. I think they'll still be aggressive. I think they're going to go add a big piece, whether it's bringing back Alonso or making a splash in the pitching market. I'm not particularly convinced that they're not going to do anything. 450 is ridiculous. Don't know who that's for. What do you think about the Yankees getting Donovan? It would have to be, in my opinion, instead of McMahon. Like, you'd be able to trade McMahon and not do it as like you're eating $10 million of his salary per year, or you're just dumping him and you're taking another bad contract. No, like, it has to be a seamless transition for me. That's kind of where I'm at. Where's the Brendan Donovan bomb? Hasn't been traded yet. Yeah, so look, I don't know the guy personally. I can't sit here and tell you that he's got a burn to play or doesn't have a burn to play. Do I think that there's maybe some nefarious kind of like, hey, Boris kind of having that out there? Maybe. It's also possible that organizations do feel that way. So again, I'm not trying to take a side here, because I don't know. And I don't want to make it seem like I'm a fanboy. Because again, I really like Kyle Tucker, the player. And I've said this before, and I obviously, I'm going to be, obviously there's bias here. And when you like a player, when you think a player is good, you're going to be biased. And so I'm going to sit here and tell you, like, I don't know. I don't have a side on this. I don't know if he is or if he's not a quote unquote guy who doesn't have a burn to play. We will see. That will be something that gets played out over the course of the season and over the course of that contract. Let's take another look here. New York Knicks have a fantastic opportunity this year to be swept by the Thunder in the finals. That is the issue. I think the Thunder are clearly better than the Knicks. And you could argue, like, the Nuggets are probably better than the Knicks. And I think the Rockets are probably better than the Knicks. So thankfully, all those teams are in the West. But OKC is like the best team I think I've ever seen outside of the 2016 Warriors in the regular season. We talked about Alcantara. Hey, man, my Twitter is at Ryan Garcia ESM. I take inquiries. My inquiries are my Twitter buyer. So please check out at Ryan Garcia ESM on my Twitter and email me. I'd prefer that to be the case. I don't like doing this on YouTube. That kind of feels a little bit like unprofessional. So not saying you're unprofessional, saying for me at least. So yeah. Gore or Imai, who would you prefer? Depends on cost. If it's $150 million for 7 years for Imai, I think I'd be actually willing to go for Imai at that point, low AAV. But if it's, $200 million, no, I would rather Gore. If Gore is being traded for LaGrange, Jones, Dominguez, and Warren, I would rather have Imai. So it's all cost dependent. I think next year, it's tough. They're the same age. No, actually, wait. Sorry. Gore's a year younger. I'm not sure who I prefer. I'm not sure. I think it's cost dependent, kind of have them at a similar level. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, look, I don't think the Diaz leaving the Mets is like this unbelievably detrimental. Like, you kind of see a lot of Met fans crashing out. And like, I understand, don't get me wrong. I'm not like judging them for it. I'm just saying it's not like, I don't feel like this is the like end of the Mets or anything of the sort. I just feel like this is all right. Got to go rebound. Got to bring back Alonso. Make sure you do other things. Get ready to learn kick change, buddy. Maybe it's a splitter. Maybe it's a kick change for Gore. Hey, Ryan, do you know if anything has changed on the Bellinger front after today's signings? I just think the Phillies are out. The Phillies are not going to, I think, go after and acquire Cody Bellinger. Now, I do want to point out, no telling with the Dodgers. The Dodgers were rumored to not really be willing to spend the money necessary to get Diaz, and then he ended up signing with the Mets or the Dodgers. And granted, he signed a 3-year deal. Maybe some players are willing to just take less money to go to the Dodgers. That's kind of a variable we all have to consider now because we don't know. Now, granted, Bellinger is a Boras client. Notes that Diaz was not a Boras client. I would assume a Boras client is all about the money. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that detrimentally. I'm just saying, or in a disrespectful manner. I'm just saying it. Now, in regard to Cody Bellinger, I know he wants to be a Yankee. I know that that's his preference, or kind of what I've heard is that's his preference, and his preference is to remain a New York Yankee. The question becomes if that preference is strong enough. And I'll also say this, like, a lot of people would have told you Diaz would stay with the Mets if the contract were the same. So we don't really know. We don't really know. It's this Diaz thing is kind of like a giant whoa, because it reminds you, like, what you believe you know is not. It's not exactly what's going to happen. So we'll see. I do think that the Yankees are in a good spot when it comes to I Bellinger, because I think the market for him is not as strong as it's been feared to, or kind of drummed up to be, but I could be wrong. Gore is a good player, right-handed bat, and bullpen should be the focus. Tatis move if possible. Contract control is important. Buxton, another good one. I would like Buxton. I really would. Sup, Brian. Sup, Felix. Hope you're doing well. Talk about this. I think it depends on cost. Yeah, Gore pitched in a tough division. I like that he pitched in a tough division. I like that the ballpark, he actually would have allowed fewer home runs if he played all of his games at Yankee Stadium. What would a trade for Gore look like? Jason or Jones and ERC? I would be willing to do that. One of the two outfielders and ERC for Gore. I'd be willing to do that. I like him as a reliever. Like a depth starter if guys go down. That's where I like him. We'll be so damn pissed if the smelly Red Sox get Bichette ahead of the Yankees. Again, it depends on the contract Bichette goes for. I don't really think I'm not a big believer that Bichette's a guy I want at like an 8-year deal. That's just my opinion on it. Ryan just joined. What are we expecting? And is Tatis real? Tatis Tucker. Jesus, I'm the one telling you guys to not talk about him, and I'm the one that keeps talking about him. I just joined. What are we expecting, and is Tucker realistic? I don't think Tucker's going to happen. I do think trading for a starter or signing a Mai is realistic, and I do think that a return to Bellinger is realistic. So we'll see. By you saying that means straight to the bullpen. Well, he's hurt, so I don't know when he's coming back. I'd imagine he'd come back and either fill in as a starter or a reliever, depending on who's hurt, who's available, what's going on with the Yankee roster. But him being a reliever is not something I'm going to be particularly shocked by, considering if the Yankees had a starter, they'd have a lot of depth. That's a good question. I guess like any team who doesn't want to spend money. Suarez would be cool, but at that age, I'm not sure I want to pay him the premium closer money. Like, am I going to pay him more than Devin Williams? No. Yeah, I think he might. So yeah. So do you want Mackenzie Gore? I do want him. But like my want list, like there are usually about 3 to 4 this pitching market. There are about 3 to 4 pitchers I would kind of line up in the same manner. Like if the Yankees ended up with Sandy Alcantara, Mackenzie Gore, or Tatsuya Imai, an outside chance here, Freddie Peralta, I'd feel pretty good about the Yankees rotation. That's kind of where I'm at. They could be. It depends on. I mean, I wouldn't rule that out for sure. I wouldn't rule that out. Any thoughts on any of the relievers? I would like Gregory Soto on a rebound deal. Sir Anthony Dominguez, good stuff. Not sure if I'm in love with him. Probably going to rank him last year. Or no, I think I'd rank Fairbanks. Fairbanks and Dominguez are both like similar to your guys for me. McGill 1, Soto 2. This is all relative to price point, of course. And then those back end guys 3 and 4. Not because they're worse than Soto, but because I think Soto will sign for less money. And there's a little more you might be able to do with Gregory Soto, better underlying metrics and all that stuff. More than a 4-year deal with Bellinger scares me. Yeah, I mean, I think 5 years is like the peak for like what I think is a comfortable number for you to be willing to go to. Yeah, I think a big trade's going to be what I would expect for the Yankees in the winter meetings if they were to do anything big. Before the winter meetings, I was hyped for Amai. I'm still hyped, but I honestly feel like it's off the books. I think it's more so like the trade talk is loudest because these GMs can interact in person. That's why we're seeing the trade talks get loud. We're not trading for Tatis. Hey, I think it's possible he doesn't accept it. I think it's possible, right? I think it's possible he wouldn't accept a trade, but it depends on where he goes. I think, right? I think it depends on where he goes. But this is a good point, right? Like, if you're Grisham, would you want to go to like a team that has a deep right field porch? No, right? You wouldn't want to go to somewhere where you'd be less likely to succeed. That's a fair point. Fair point. Can we do a trade for Donovan and sign Belly? I think they could, but I think the Yankees are going to be more focused on run prevention than they would be in terms of like run scoring. I think the Yankees view that their pitching staff has more holes in their position player group. Because I don't think the Padres are trading him. I just don't. Possible, I don't think the Yankees want to play those games. So I don't think they're going to wait until that happens to make moves. Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy went to the Dodgers. Crazy. Hey, that's possible. Mariners need a second baseman. If they don't want Polanco back on that deal, definitely possible. I just hope the Yankees have a plan. I think they do have a plan. Will the Yankees make a move today? I hope so. I really do hope so. Do you think the Yankees can move Rodon with some money incentives? He has a full little trade clause noted here. Also, don't think the Yankees want to I don't think the Yankees are going to like sell low on him, right? Like that's a sell low move. That is a move where like you're selling a guy who's coming off surgery and saying, "Hey, someone please take him." I just think you keep him. You just keep him. I don't think that they're going to get Marte. The fact that he's got the Yankees on the no trade clause, the fact that the Yankees don't really seem like a team that wants to, again, deplete all their assets on what would be an infielder. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, appreciate that, man. On my YouTube, I didn't know YouTube had a Wrapped. I appreciate that, Ethan. I appreciate that. That's a good top two. It's a good top two, man. I appreciate that. Is Tatsuya Amai a possibility? Yeah, definitely. I think the Yankees are still in on him. That's kind of where I'm at. Okay. Who would I pick here? I don't know. I think I said again, like I'd have them all on the same level. I think the Mets will spend big on King or Valdez. Definitely possible. ERC and Dominguez for an over 4 ERA is outrageous. You guys, we got to remember, we don't pay for ERA on this market. You do not pay for ERA. You pay for things outside of ERA. So let's look at this past year, let's say for Mackenzie Gore. Let's share the screen right here. Starting pitchers, 150 innings, blah, 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 all that stuff, blah, 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 whatever. Strikeout to walk rate. Gore, 19th among 65 starters who pitch at least 150 innings. Better than guys like Ranger Suarez. Better than guys like in that same ballpark as like a Kevin Gausman. Better than Rodon. Better than Fried. So that immediately presents some value. That is immediately going to provide you some value if you're an organization. Skill attractive ERA, 3.80. Again, 22nd. Like he's an above average starting pitcher, or he was this past year, and he's coming from and I'm gonna like say this, and you guys again have to kind of like, if your kid's listening, turbo dog shit. It's turbo dog shit, right? Like it's a turbo dog shit organization. ERA is just a mirage stat. It's a mirage stat. It's not predictive. It doesn't even predict itself well. So yeah. The reason they would want an outfielder is because I don't think that they're attached to their guys. I don't think that they're attached to their guys. I do think Jones is a better roster fit, but yeah, I don't think that this is they're attached to their guys. Remember, this is a new regime. None of these guys drafted any of the people inside the organization. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, I saw turbo mid. Hey, I mean, that's your opinion. I think King's a good player. So if that's what you feel, that's what you feel. I don't think there's a wrong or right answer. So yeah. Trade for Andrew Nardi. I'd be sick. I'd be down with that. I would love Alex Bregman to the Bronx. Just don't think that's happening. Don't think it's happening. Any long-term deal to the 2027 season up in the air is a problem. I don't know if that's necessarily a thing. Like I've kind of spoken to some people about this. Like, hey, is this going to affect the market? And my that kind of the consensus of what I've gotten is that there's going to be baseball played in 2027. So yeah. All right. Brad Keller would be a great signing. I agree. You hear the Padres stuff? Yeah, and I don't think it's Tatis. How much money do you think Polanco gets? I'll guess 3 years, $45 million. Um, I don't think you walk into an offseason without a plan. I don't think that's the Yankees. So you can say that, like, I say this kind of like every time we do streams. Sorry. The Yankees try and look at organizations in baseball, right? Let's look at organizations in baseball. And we'll kind of look at it from here. Standings. Who do you think is a better ran organization? I don't think anyone in the AL Central. I think the Brewers, the Dodgers, the Dodgers. You want to say the Blue Jays? I don't think so, but you can say the Blue Jays. Point is, there are like, what, 5 organizations maybe who are better ran than the Yankees. I know I probably forgot someone massive, but I'll say 5 at most. I'd go more 2, 3, or 4. If you think the Yankees are unless you think there are 25 stupid organizations in baseball, which I think is a pretty insane take, I don't think that the Yankees walked in here without a plan. Because he wasn't getting traded. I said this on these streams. He wasn't getting traded. Once it came out that that Nimmo was going there for Simeon, just guaranteed it. Becoming my favorite Yankees channel and X account to follow for Yankee stuff. Keep up the good work, man. Really appreciate it, dude. Really, really appreciate it. And thank you, guys. I really, really appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Appreciate the love and the support. Love the streams, by the way. And what do you think what you would do with Jazz's contract? What would you want us to give him? That's a good question, Isaiah. So me personally, I do have my concerns with extending Jazz. Injuries. I don't love the way he handled being platooned in the wild card game. I heard some rumblings beforehand that he doesn't really like getting pinch hit for a platoon. Kind of need him to be bought in on these things. But I'm sure he can grow up from it. Look, if it's a 5-year, $100 million contract, I'm in. I'm in on that number. I would prefer not to go 7 or 8 years. I know he's a younger guy, would be a younger free agent, but just the injuries. I kind of need to see how this year ends up. Again, a 5-year, let's say 6 years, 120. That's, let's say, a number I'd be willing to hand him. Yes, because we have controllable MLB pitching. The fact that Will Warren's a pitcher on the Yankees is going to help them in trades, I think. The fact that Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, Ben Hess, and Carlos Granger in the organization, the pipeline of catchers, the pipeline of pitchers, I think the Yankees do have the value to go out there and make a notable trade. When you guys make a post on YouTube, I missed the graphs. I will be posting those graphics back on YouTube. We've been posting them on our socials, so follow our Instagram, our Twitter, and our Facebook. For those, but we'll be putting those back on the Twitter. We also have some clips that are going to come out in between now and the 6:30 live stream. Michael King would be an overpay. Sorry. Definitely possible. I mean, it depends on what he gets. Sorry about my throat being raspy. It was raspy on the episode. Just feeling a little bit under the weather in terms of my throat. I'm going to go get some cough drops to help fix that. So, yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. He's a better, younger, he's a younger version of Carlos Rodon. And I think he's better than where Carlos Rodon was at age 26. This would be tough. Too tough, Christian. Be too tough. TT, too tough. What do you think about Boris quotes today? Just a bunch of rallying up nonsense. I like the poems. The poems are sick. I can't lie. Poems are sick. I think he's baller at it. If the Yankees were to acquire Donovan, where's the long-term fit for Lombard? Well, he doesn't seem like someone's going to come up at 26. Maybe it's 27. If Jazz leaves in free agency, you put him at shortstop. So, yeah. How would it, hypothetically, what would it take for Tatis? Bring him to me, bald man. Your whole organization, your entire organization, every single player. So, yeah, that's my answer. That is my answer. Is that a crazy answer? I don't know if that's a crazy answer. Ooh, what happened here? Sorry, not baseball news. It's the Freddie Freeman, Matt Olson, and Corey Seager missed out on years before. Yeah, that's the concern with missing out on Tucker. Yeah, I would do business with Scott Boras. He's kind of an insufferable bastard, but you kind of have to live with that, you know? Kind of have to live with that. Kind of have to live with that. Yo, what up? Keep up the good work. Appreciate it, man. So yeah. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this because I don't want to just say it and then like say, hey, yo, the Yankees, ERA is not a good stat to look at, and that's it. First and foremost, want to say as we approach a 40-minute mark, if you guys like this up, we'll go for another 30 minutes after the 1 hour mark. So if you get me to 100 likes, we'll get to that point and we'll end up doing that. So if you're listening right now, just make sure you press the like button. There's over 200 of you here on the YouTube. So again, just if you're watching this, just hey, help us out by pressing that like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. We're at 65 right now. Again, just press that like button. We'll go for an extra hour there. Now, let's talk about why ERA is not a good stat to look at. Or why it's not not good stat, sorry. Why it's not a predictive stat. ERA does not predict on itself very well. Metrics like weighted on base average even that don't have anything to do with run prevention. It's not a run prevention or run stat predict ERA better than ERA does because it's very volatile on a year-to-year basis. It relies a lot on luck. It relies a lot on like inherited runner scoring. It relies on a lot of things, on errors being charged appropriately, defensive plays that are bad ones that aren't considered errors. There's a lot that goes into ERA and an earned run average. Strikeout to walk rate is just a better stat to look at for these kinds of metrics. So again, strikeout to walk rate, probably the king of pitching stats. FIP, xFIP, those are some good stats as well. Skill interactive ERA, xERA, but I would consider strikeout to walk rate the king of pitching stats. So, yeah, I think it's a good way to put it. It doesn't isolate the pitcher enough. It's pretty simple. Yeah, I would agree. It doesn't isolate the pitcher enough. It does not do that. I would agree. I would say strikeout to walk rate. Now, K to BB is different. I would just so hold on. Let's just pull this up here. Strikeout to walk rate. I think if you got a good strikeout to walk, a really good strikeout to walk rate, yeah, I think you're going to be good. That's kind of my TLDR. Yeah, let's keep rolling here and looking at some other comments here. I do want to look at one that kind of popped up caught my eye. You saw that Ketel Marte green lighting a trade to the Yankees. I did not see that. If that he would green light a trade to the Yankees. Let me see. Have you guys seen that? Have you guys not Ketel Marte, Yankees. Let's see. I haven't seen anything about that. Has anyone seen anything about it? I'm not seeing anything here. Anyone have anything on that? I haven't seen it. I did see that Isaac Paredes is available. I just don't think that's going to happen for Los Yankees. Trying to see where. Was this a John Heyman thing? Did John Heyman say this? Is that what happened? I don't know. Anywho, we'll kind of keep rolling here, and I'll see if there's anyone said anything. Yeah, man, you guys deserve a great product, right? It's not your guy. You guys didn't come to watch a guy fucking cough and sneeze and sniffle 24/7. You showed up to you showed up to listen to a guy talk clearly and fluently and not hear the sniffing sound destroying and just inserting your ear with sheer and utter rage. So yeah. Let's kind of see what else we got here. I think Lombard is going to play once McMahon is gone. Totally fair. We'll see kind of how that ends up shaking out, but I do think Lombard is going to have room to play or get traded. I mean, we'll kind of see, right? We'll kind of see. Lombard's a shortstop, yes, but you can also play him at third. He has the arm for third. I do think you should keep him at shortstop because of the glove. Let's see. He said it. I mean, I want to just see like the where it's coming from. You know what I mean? Contrary to popular belief, Contrary to popular belief, he did come to watch some sniffles. Came for the sniffling, stay for the takes. Appreciate that, guys. Yo, thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. No, I mean, look, again, I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure it's not like bothering the ears. I love Bellinger. We can't take around Bellinger all offseason just for him to go somewhere else. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. They cannot let this be a situation where they let targets on their board go just because they're waiting on Cody Bellinger. I fully agree. Let's keep looking here. I would be a bad GM. That farm's going to go bye-bye the Dodger way. Look, this is where, like, I think a lot of fans don't understand, like, it's hard to be a GM. But I think a lot of teams and some GMs are just a little bit too hesitant. Like, someone mentioned this with, like, David Stearns. I don't think this is a David Stearns only problem. I think this is a general issue. If the Yankees, or if teams, not the Yankees, sorry, if, like, the Orioles, let's say, were more aggressive in 2024, would they have won the World Series? If the Mets were more aggressive for Diaz, would they have gotten him? Like, aggression is something I think that just gets a little bit underrated. Like, being like a Dave Dombrowski, being an Andrew Friedman, you kind of need to use that to your advantage, in my opinion. So, that's kind of my opinion on it. I do think teams need to be a little more aggressive. I think some teams are a little bit too concerned with overpaying for value on the market. Let's see. Are the Yankees going to make any big moves this offseason? What are the chances? I think like Bellinger coming back would be like the biggest free agent move. Unless he doesn't come back, that would change things. And I think the big moves they would make are in the trade market. So we'll see. We will see. We will see. I remember when Glaber had equal value to Marte. Oh, man. There was a time where Marte had, like, not been a great player. And that would have been sick to have him then. You can't wait on Bellinger, miss out on the guys. Agree. I don't think he's getting a 7 or 8 year deal anywhere. I don't think anyone's handing him that money. I could be wrong. And I would love I think Bellinger would love for me to be wrong. Right. So yeah, I mean, I think Bellinger would love for us to be wrong, but we'll see. Again, I don't think that Bellinger's getting a 7 or 8 year deal. I just don't see it. That's just my opinion, but hey, I am wrong all the freaking time. All the time. But we'll see. Anywho, and then you have AJ Preller. Yeah, I think AJ Preller is good for entertainment. He's an entertaining guy. No, it's not the last year. I think they have the last day. They have another day tomorrow. So yeah, have a bad feeling that Tucker will be a Dodger. That would suck, but it would not suck as much as him being a Blue Jay, right? Is that fair? I don't know if the Mets are giving him a 7-year deal, and if they do, good for them. Like, I don't mean to say this in like a douchebaggy way. Man, if he goes to the Dodgers, like if Bellinger gets 7 years from the Mets, like, cool, dude, you can go. Like, that's cool, man. You can go. You can get out of here. Like, I'm not giving Bellinger 7 years. If the Dodgers get Tucker and trade for Skubal, end the season. Yeah, okay. If that happens, I would be willing to press that button as well. Right? Are there good players? Are there guys with a good strikeout to walk percentage that suck, or is it a good indicator of success? That's a good question. Let's look at the last 3 years of strikeout to walk rate guys, starters. And let's go 200 innings. Guys with bad ERAs over this stretch. Just Dylan Cease and Max Scherzer. And Max Scherzer, obviously, like, he's getting older over the stretch, so clearly his strikeout to walk rate is decreasing. He is regressing as a pitcher, kind of an outlier. But the top 25 guys have all posted above average ERAs over this stretch. You want to expand this list like the top 50, let's say, in strikeout to walk rate. 1, 2, Reed Detmer's on here as starters. Manaea, Crawford. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 guys have, like, and you can't really count the 100 ERA guys. So, because that's a league average ERA. So what, the 100, what, 8 of the 50 in over a 3-year window are above, are worse than league average at preventing runs. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty cool. So yeah, that seems pretty cool. I think that, again, strikeout to walk rate's important. What do you mean passing? I don't think passing said anything. No. You guys fooled me. I was fooled. I was so fooled. You guys fooled me. I had my heart stop. I mean, I think Cutter Crawford's actually a decent starting pitcher. Like it's kind of messed up too. Like, it's kind of messed up because like I actually really liked Cutter Crawford when he was coming up, and then Cutter's King creates an account. So Cutter's is like that name. Yeah, he was messy. He was like outside of Aaron Judge, he owned us, dude. So yeah, yeah, we'll see. TBDH. No, not TBD. TB. I don't know acronyms. So yeah, we'll see. Let me just sip on this coffee a little bit, sip some water. That is an 80 grade baseball name. 80 grade. Let's keep it rolling with questions. If you guys can get us up, we have got 10 minutes left. We're at 80. Let's see where we're at. 92 likes. If you're watching right now and you haven't liked, 8 likes away from us going another 30 minutes, or else in 10 minutes, this stream will come to an end and we'll stop answering questions. So you can get us just 8 more likes. 8 more likes. We'd really appreciate it. Why hasn't Tucker met with the Yankees yet? I don't think the Yankees are going to be seriously interested in Tucker. So yeah, that's kind of what my sense is right now. Do you think the Yankees trade for someone? And if so, who? I think if they were trade for someone, I'd guess like Gore, I guess. And then where I think Jorge Polanco goes to, I think it goes to the Mariners. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's possible. I'm just worried about it. I'm worried about Suarez. That's why I don't really love the idea of giving him a contract. What are your thoughts on the salary floor ceiling? Me personally, I don't love a salary cap, but if it comes with a high salary floor, I think I'd be for it. I think it'd have to come with like an NBA structure. You would have to completely revamp the salary system. You'd have to create an NBA-like system, I think, because that system is what has gotten players paid the most on a per-year basis, and it's keeping players paid. Now, I don't know if it would work against MLB or not, but again, I just don't think the Yankees would benefit from a salary cap unless, of course, it came with a high floor. And we just hit 118 likes. So we're going for another 30 minutes. So after the 1 hour mark, that's when you tack 30 minutes. So we're going to be going until about 4:30. Again, I just don't personally believe that a salary floor is going to work if it's not high enough. $100 million salary floor is not fixing anything. So, yeah, because he's such a big strikeout risk. He's such a big risk. I've said it before. I've never gotten the sense that the Yankees were that in the last like 2 years. Like I always was like, doesn't feel like a guy the Yankees signed, which is a guy who has that much strikeout risk and doesn't have that has upside, but like has a severely terrifying floor. Gore, Imai, McGill, Peralta, those kinds of guys. So, yeah, we'll kind of see how things end up going here. Imai, Bellinger, yeah. Yes, I am going live later again tonight at 6:30 from 6:30 to 8. I will not be able to extend past that point, even with the likes and stuff, because I will have something to do at 8. Okamoto is someone that Yankee Source has linked the Yankees to, but I'm not entirely sure that is someone we're going to get because even Yankee Sources noted, hey, like the Yankees, they kind of need, like they would need to be able to offer him a starting job, and they can't currently do that at the moment. So that does matter in these conversations. Huh. I'm not sure. Huh. I would say Dominguez gets talked about as a trade piece. I'd say Horner, like Nico Horner, maybe if the Cubs sign an infielder. No. Let's see. I think Judge has a 1.1 thousand OPS with the ABS. That'd be sick. That'd be sick. That'd be sick. No, he's gonna get moved. People know he's gonna get moved, or he could get moved. It's not like I was thinking like shocking, like no one's linked him as a trade piece. Screw it, right? 7 years, 150 million. What's the worst that's gonna happen here? He should be back for opening day. Check Murray. Check Murray. Okay, Ryan. I actually believe Ryan Jack. I actually know Ryan Jack, and he's a good dude. So I'm a hope. Oh, okay. The Cubs met with Alex Bregman multiple times, or had a Zoom meeting with him. He's had several Zoom meetings with other teams. Hey, hopefully the Yankees are hopefully Horner. Like, I would love Horner to be I'd love Horner to be a New York Yankee. Like that shout. Appreciate that, man. Do you think that coming off a few down years, maybe Austin Riley could get moved in a salary dump? My answer would be no. And let's kind of look at the Braves roster for a second here. First and foremost, they need offense. Their offense has struggled the last few years. Secondly, he still was a productive player the year prior. He just wasn't great this past year. He was good the year prior, not great this past year. And I think you bet on a guy like that being a productive player next year. I mean, he's 28 years old, turned 29 in April. I don't think that if the Braves are giving up on him, why are they giving up on him is the question the Yankees should immediately ask, right? So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't think we can get Bregman. Yeah, that'd be scary. I don't know if that'll happen, but that could be scary. That'd be scary. For sure. I was thinking Ben Joyce, if he gets healthy, gets traded. I mean, that would be sick for the Yankees. Like, I would love that. Good velo. Just take a flyer, right? I like taking flyers. Flyers are a good thing to do. Taking flyers is a good thing to do. That's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah, I saw that. And that'd be, that's a good thing for the White Sox to try and do, because you can always sign relievers and then trade them. You're paying for prospects essentially. Maybe, but I don't think so. And I talked about this. Really wanted Horner last year. Such a good fit. Yeah, just an elite defender. Good on base guy. Good average. Just awesome. Just love him. Love him a lot. Yeah. Ryan McMahon, Spencer Jones, and Luis Heel for Manny Machado and a reliever. I would do this. But the Machado contract kind of stinks. I think I would do this, though. There's not really a player here that I'm like, wow, we really need to have this player. So, yeah, I would do this. Why not? Yeah, why not? Yeah, I would like them to not get a chubby power hitter. Yeah, I would prefer that to not be the case. Because it plays. Yeah, it does play in Fenway. I'm glad he didn't go back to Boston as well. Will the Yankees trade for Skubal? No. He might have he might have been like the greatest villain in New York sports history. Yeah, I think that they could lock two of those players up. I think Marcy is a guy they can do that with. So yeah. I think Padres comfortably say no to this. Stanton immediately, the Tatis no is not getting traded, but the second you throw Stanton in this, abso-freaking-lutely not. I would say pitcher, and I would either say like a Brad Keller or like a Mackenzie Gore, because I would say Tatsuya might wait a little longer to sign. Is that like an educated guess? I think it's an educated guess. I think it's Thursday. I believe it's Thursday. We could Google together. The Rule 5 is tomorrow, so yeah. And then I can't find this. It's a 4-day event, so sorry, I'm just trying to. December 10th is where it's done, I think. So tomorrow. It should be done tomorrow. Stop sharing my screen for a second. Which org do you think is on the come up? I think it's the Marlins. I would say the Marlins as well. I would throw the Marlins as like my top pick, like my 1.1. I'm also going to kind of take a shot in the dark here and say the White Sox. The White Sox will be on the come up. That is the next flyer I'll take. Oh, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, like it'll be super depressive. The issue is that like Stanton's a bad contract because he cannot do anything other than DH. And I'm not saying that to say that like, oh, Stanton sucks or whatever. It's just that I think teams would be completely against the idea of taking him, and there's a no trade clause. So yeah. Yep, good point. Yep, good point. Ryan, what's up, Yanks lover? Hope you're doing well. Tomorrow, and the Yankees haven't done anything. We'll see. Who would you want the team for New York? Tatsy, my Belly, Tucker. I would want Tatis over all that, but I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah. Honest to God, I just breathe. Just deep breaths, chilling, straight chilling. Play a lot of Clash Royale. It's kind of like give myself to compete in. Yeah, I don't really like, I'm not a very complex individual. Spend time with my family, my girlfriend. I like baseball, and I like my family and my girlfriend and Clash Royale and some video games like Pokemon. I'll play a little bit of that every now and then. So yeah, that's how I do it, folks. That's how we do it. I do wonder too, but I would doubt it. I would Ryan Garcia's pressing the doubt button. I am going live later tonight at 6:30. The issue with this is that they want right-handed hitting. Yeah, that's fair. I also just like kind of like stop caring for a little. Like I really like pull back. What's your Clash deck? Mega Knight, Hog Rider, Heal Spirit, Log, Bats, Electro Wizard. I also have Skeletons, and I run final card in that deck. What is the final? Hold on, I gotta like map this out of my head. Bats, Skeletons, Heal Spirit, Mega Knight, Hog Rider, Log, Ewiz. Man, what is that? Jesus, I'm so bad. My memory stinks, guys. I apologize. I know it's like a card that like I frequently use too. Let's see. There's terrible. Let me pull you guys up the deck here. Oh, an Ice Golem. How can I forget Ice Golem? Ice Golem is like one of my favorite cards in the game. And I've got 7,105 trophies. So I've been kind of stuck there. I used to use Mini P.E.K.K.A. a lot, but I don't anymore. And if you ever want to run the ones, if I'm active, I'm Ryan Garcia ESM on Clash Royale. Like it's my Twitter handle. So I don't duck from the ones. I might stream if you guys are ever interested, I'd be willing to stream like me playing Clash Royale, either here on my Twitter or my personal YouTube. But I'm willing to play ball. I'm willing to play ball, folks. Willing to play ball. Let's drink some water here. Not water, coffee. That's tough. I like cheap elixir decks. My deck I think runs a 3.0 elixir, or is it 2. Maybe 2.8 to 3.0. I could be wrong, but I like running cheaper decks. I don't like running these super expensive. Like I like quick cycles, like being able to cycle through quickly. 2.9, yeah, 2.9. I like being able to cycle through pretty quickly. Hog Cycle I know is like a big popular deck, and I've tried it, but like I kind of like having a little more flexibility in that regard. I would personally not like this. I want them to do a little bit better in that regard. It's possible. It's possible if they're actually in. Like I think the Cubs really, really want Tatsuya Mai. And it's possible they get him. Like I don't think the Yankees are alone on this. Yeah, it'd be fun. I mean, if they want to have me on, that'd be fun. I'd be willing. That's fair. Look, I think every deck, it depends on like if you're trying to do beatdown, cycle, siege deck, whatever it may be. I love doing more of a cycle deck. Some people like doing more of a beatdown deck, siege, like a stall deck, whatever it may be. Like I'm very much a big believer in like I like running quick decks. Hog Cycle is kind of like the foundation of my deck. It's very similar to Hog Cycle, the Ice Golem, Skeletons, Log, a Spirit, just like cheap cards in there, and I just throw Mega Knight in there because it's a cheese card. Like in mid ladder, that card's disgusting. Harry Ford for Ferreira. Now, I want to know, I know the Yankees had interest in trading for Jose Ferreira, and JC Escar was part of those trade talks. I like this deal a lot for the Mariners. I think Jose Ferreira is really good. I like it for the Nationals in the sense that you're selling high on a reliever who could always just kind of blow his arm out. Harry Ford is not a great player, but he's definitely possible. It's definitely possible he's a good player. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think it'll end up being a solid trade. I think I would agree that there's a lot of value other teams can add, but again, I don't think that the Yankees, I don't think he gets moved. Like, I want to reiterate how strong I feel about the fact that he's not going to get moved. 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 Yeah. I think it's possible he can play an impact on, or have an impact for the Yankees, because he's got elite level stuff. The stuff is elite. And I think it can translate into a bullpen role. Over 50% chance they trade Jazz IMO. I don't think it's over 50%. I think that's a little high. Yeah. I don't own any rookie cards, by the way. I don't have rookie cards. He's not on the roster. Alex Jackson's not on the roster anymore. Different organization. Yeah. I would. And I would try and bring in a right-handed backup catcher. I think Escaro will get moved. I think the Yankees wanted to try and have that done this past deadline, but it didn't go down. I know the Padres were a team with interest, but I know they traded for a catcher, so we'll see if that ends up continuing to be the case. I agree. Just sign him because, like, he owns you, right? Like, that's a reason why you'd sign a player, just because he owns you and he feels the need. But yes, the part that he owns you is important here. We'll kind of see. We are tanking. I would disagree that we're tanking. That's some coffee. Need some coffee. Will Cashman start making moves? Maybe not. Maybe. I don't sense that Marte's their guy, though. But I could be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. Halverson and Vodnik throw freaking gas. So yeah. Sure, dude. Yeah, I hope we can walk him up, because Wandy would immediately be one of our best prospects. And if we don't, I would be embarrassed. Like, go pay him. They've lost so many commitments. Just give him whatever the hell he's asking for. There's no reason to not pay him. And that's Wandy. Wandy. I can't pronounce his name. Wandy is one of their top international free agent prospect, and like a top 3 or 4 international free agent prospect this upcoming class. Yeah, they haven't tanked in a very long time. So yeah. Sign Bo Bichette. I don't think they will be doing that, unfortunately. I don't say unfortunately as like for you, maybe. Like, I don't care to sign him. It's like a $200 million contract. So yeah. Trying to wait and see what else we got here. So look, as we start, like, we got a little over 20 minutes, but we'll kind of see how things go here. Let's talk about this first. Yarbrough is a great signing. Yeah, I agree. $2 million, and he's like a guy who might be able to take the ball for you and start and give you some relief appearances. So I like this deal for them. What about Imai? Imai is someone who I think the Yankees are in on. We'll see how in. We'll see if they end up getting a great, like a big trade, or if it ends up being a signing of Imai. We'll kind of see where things go from here. That's fair. I have focused more on this than school, probably. So, yeah. I also hope Wells plays for Team DR, the World Baseball Classic. I'd also agree. I don't think I need them to upgrade the infield. I just like a bench bat, but like I would like them to add to their bullpen in this scenario. So yeah, Yeah. Possible he does. And he is on a Donovan trade. They were having conversations. I don't know if that stalled out or not. Does it seem realistic for the Yankees to trade for Ketel? I would say no. I would say no. I don't think it's possible. Not that's not possible. I don't think it's realistic. I don't think it's likely. It's definitely possible. Anything's possible, but I wouldn't consider it likely or realistic. So yeah. What's up, John? Hope you're doing well, man. If you're showing up now and you're like, damn, I missed the whole stream. I usually just stream at night. I'll still stream at night. I'm still streaming at 6:30 tonight. Matthew Schaefer's a stud. Matthew Schaefer's a monster. That guy's a stud. Guy's a stud, eh? Islanders are a top 3 team in the Metropolitan right now, their division. In the conference, I think they're also a top 3 team in terms of points. So good chance to make the postseason. Hopefully that ends up coming to fruition. Although they might not be like as good as the record suggests. Reagans would be sick. Don't think the Yankees have the ammo to go get him. I don't think they have the ammo to go get him. Max Fried not being added for the WBC gives him hope for next year. Yeah, I'm glad he's not pitching in the World Baseball Classic. Career high innings pitch this past year. I'm against it. Hey, Ryan, just hopped on. How you doing, brother? How can the Yankees beat the Dodgers and be the best team in baseball? Miles, think they need to add impacts, like a top 5 hitter in the lineup, top 4, top 5 hitter in their lineup, a guy who's taking the ball in game 2 or game 3, and then impact relievers and a bench piece. I think that's at least like the minimum. That'll get them to a point where they can be one of the best teams in the game. Possible. I don't know. I wouldn't know. Obviously hypothetical, but if Grish for Bubic was on the table, would you do it? So my understanding is that Bubic's medicals are turbo dog. Not looking good for like the elbow and the shoulder area. So if he were healthy, like, yes, because it's less salary and it's a pitcher and all those things, but we kind of have to wait and see how things go there. But I do think Bubic's medicals, from my understanding, is turbo dog. I actually don't know. I don't. Should they get rid of Heel? I don't know if the word is get rid of, but I wouldn't rely on Luis Heel to be like your starter when everyone's healthy. I wouldn't rely on Luis Heel to take a ball in the postseason for you. I wouldn't rely on Luis Heel to be a guy who nets you a big piece in a deal. So, yeah, like if the Yankees were able to, let's say this, Yankees were able to get Mackenzie Gore and could include Luis Heel instead of Will Warren. I'm including Luis Heel. Does Bellinger drag out until January? Yeah, I would like them to not just wait on Bellinger. Go do what you got to do. Go get your offseason. Yeah, the stove is kind of quiet right now. We'll see if anything comes down. Willie Castro's a utility backup guy. Yeah, I would like that. I like him a lot. What do you think the opening day lineup would actually be if we got any free agents or trade acquisitions? I would say Bellinger comes back and that's kind of your, like, you'd lead off Grisham. You'd have Judge hit second, Bellinger third, Stanton fourth. Actually, no. I'd like Grisham first, Rice. Grisham 1, Rice 2, Judge 3, Bellinger 4, Stanton 5, Jazz 6. 7th, I'd put Wells. 8th, I'd put Volpe or Caballero, whoever's the starter, depending on when Volpe's starting or not. And then McMahon 9th. That's how I'd roll my lineup. I think the Yankees would be very smart to convert Heel to their closer with the ability to go 2 innings. Being a relief pitcher is less stressful. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That'd be fun, but I think you keep him stretched out as a starter and then you try and move him to a reliever role if you're healthy enough. Heel stuff in the pen would be nuts. Agree. 10 to 15 million, should they take it? If it's like a 2-year, $30 million deal, I would do that. That's what I would do. But 3 years, no. Heel can't throw strikes, fair. If we got Marte, could Jazz be back in the outfield? I don't think so, right? I don't think so. As an RP, you focus on 2 pitches and starting in 3 to 4. Yeah, I mean, you need 4 to 5, right? That the barometer's grown. The barometer's grown for starting pitchers. You probably talked about it earlier, but Marte to the Yankees, maybe. Yeah, so I don't think it's impossible, but I don't think it's likely or probable. So that's kind of where I look at things with the Yankees, where, like, I don't think they're going to get Ketel Marte, but I don't think it's like impossible, 0% chance. I think it's a pretty good lineup on paper. They need guys who can a platoon with like McMahon, but I don't think it's a bad lineup at all. Boris said the Yankees won't limit payroll. Certainly him trying to drive up the pitting for his guys and holds no real weight, right? I don't think Boris, like the same way I would tell you, if Boris had said, I don't know if the Yankees are going to, like, Yankees seem a little bit cheap right now, like, I'd be like, come on, it's Boris. Like, he's trying to stir up some drama. I'm going to say the same thing here. I don't just not believe everything that's positive for the Yankees. So in this scenario, yeah, I just don't think, I don't buy Boris. I don't buy Boris is going to be giving us direct understanding of what the Yankees are doing. I would like Tucker. I'd like Ketel Marte, but I don't think that's going to happen. We'll see. Any chance the Yankees make a move today, tomorrow? I think they'll make a move today or tomorrow. Also, that Jeff Passan tweet when it arrives going to hit so hard. Yeah, a Jeff Passan breaking on the Yankees would be insane. Do you think any teams acquires C.J. Abrams as a center fielder? Good question. I don't know. I actually don't know. Now, interestingly, like, would you guys have C.J. Abrams come over as an outfielder to play like and replace Bellinger? I wouldn't, because I personally don't think he can hit lefties that well. At least from what I've seen, I don't think he can hit lefties that well. Yeah, this past year, no. The year before that, he hit lefties well, but no, he can't hit lefties well. But I do think a team could do it. The Yankees have the trade chips to get anyone, guys. I wouldn't say anyone, but they can get guys. If Christian Rice regress and Volpe Wells don't progress, yeah, well, like if guys aren't good, they won't play well, right? Like if their offense isn't good, they won't hit. If their offense is good, they will hit. And I think on paper, their offense is pretty good. So we'll see. Machado's the captain. Gotcha. Boris puns are so cheesy. Yeah, they're cheesy, but I'm a puns guy. Can't lie, guys. I'm kind of corny. Can Cashman stop sleeping? You don't know what he's doing right now. Yeah, good point. Too many lefties, as I noted. Can't really hit him. I would give him 5 years, but I understand. Like, I'd give him 5 years. I'd be okay giving him 5 years. Didn't know his metrics were as bad as they are. In regard to Abrams, I want to know who this is regarding. Your entire organization, because it's not happening. So, yeah. Yeah, his metrics were not great offensively. The issue is the swing decisions are really poor. Now, again, I do think a good organization fixes this, but we'll see. We will see. Definitely possible that Rice ends up absolutely mashing, right? Definitely possible. Are you really a baseball fan if you don't like puns? Hey, some people just don't like puns, and some people don't like Boris. Like, that's just, I don't think it's like unfair, but I like puns. I like them a lot. Ben Rice is legit. Honestly, after witnessing Jorge's entire career, I would rather Rice be our catcher with mediocre D instead of Wells with great D and mediocre and crappy offense. I think Wells is capable of being a good hitter. I wouldn't sell on Wells' offensive value. Are the Yankees even talking to Tucker? I don't know. I don't think they're going to get Tucker. Ryan, would you agree that Bichette is a clear upgrade as a right-handed bat that would make the Yankees much better? You're also taking him away from the Jays. Look, I think that Bo Bichette is a player who makes you better in the short term, but I don't love the long-term fit of him on the New York Yankees. I've said this before. This is not something I'm like. I don't hate Bo Bichette per se or anything of the sort. I just don't want to give him $200 million over 8 years. I think he should be paid as an infielder that plays second base or third base, not a shortstop. But yes, offensively is a big upgrade. It's just for how long, whether the contract's good or not, we'll see. But is it crazy? No, that's not crazy. I would do that. I would do that in a heartbeat. You're not crazy. Maybe a reliever or a starter. The issue is he's lost a lot of defensive value, but if it's a cheap signing, I'm not going to hate it. Sorry, what I'm late. What did I miss? I had school. Nothing of importance. We were just answering questions here. Nothing. Only thing I think it was like a rumor that came out during the stream was Ketel Marte is someone who would waive his no trade clause to become a Yankee. Would you trade Heel for Jeremiah Estrada? Yes. I think I would. Do you think Jason will be traded? He's been out of the lineup for Dominican team for close to a week? Maybe. Love his puns, but he says rage bait. Yeah, people don't like him, and people don't have to like Boris. If you could snap your fingers and upgrade any position with an available player, who would it be? Kyle Tucker, left field. Wish Yandy Diaz on the market. He's available for trade, I think. So we'll see. I think they would have done it. I just don't think the Astros were willing to make that trade. I don't think the Yankees are going to get Tucker. That's kind of what I think is the situation here. So, yeah. I just spilled water on my shoulder. What a moron I am. We're in the final 10 minutes of this stream here on Fireside Yankees. I really appreciate your guys' continued support here for the Fireside Yankees YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, kind of make sure just go check that subscribe button. If you're full screening this, you can unfull screen it. Just check right under if you're watching this on on your computer, if you just look below where the video is, you can see at Fireside Yankees Empire Sports Media, and you can look and subscribe. So just do that. And if you're on your mobile device, again, just lower than, just go below the video, right below, when you can subscribe there. So yeah, would you consider turning heel into reliever? Not for opening day. I would do it mid-season if the rotation depth chart permits. So yeah. Do you think the Yankees will land Polanco? No. I think the Mariners will end up with him, but I don't think it's like a 0% chance. Yeah, Diaz would be sick. I forgot about it. Yeah, he's sick, man. I appreciate that, Mark. Really appreciate that. Yankees need to pivot off Tucker and Bellinger and go all in on Tatis. Tatis is not available. If they trade for Donovan, I hope it's for third base, not left field. I'd agree. Yandy filling in at DH for the Stanton legendary injury stint would be legendary. Only plays first though. That's kind of the issue. So yeah. Blue Jays is the only team I think that is known about like Tucker. Yeah, his expected stats weren't great. He does have really good spray angles, which help his ability to land or to hit the ball out the yard. But Yankee Stadium's really, really good for that. Would you make Dax Kilby untouchable? More untouchable than most prospects. I think he's like my second most. I think he might be my most untouchable prospect. Although I wouldn't make anyone completely untouchable. Yeah, I would. It doesn't make sense roster wise, but like if he can rove around the infield, that'd be nice. So yeah. Yeah. So I would be really happy about this. I think Giannis and Brunson would be the best duo in the NBA, arguably. So I would love Giannis. I want him on the Knicks so bad. I really want him on the Knicks so bad. Let's see. Heyman and Morosi brought up Baltimore for Tucker today. Yeah, man, that's definitely something I could see. I mean, I don't know if that's going to end up happening, but we'll see. We shall see. Good question. I don't know, Kozak Gaming. I don't know. I don't know what their backup plan would be. Maybe Luis Robert? Byron Buxton? I don't know. You could take the under, which is like a real scary thing here. You could take that under. So yeah. We'll see. No, I don't think the Yankees are trading for Skubal. I don't know either. They should go sign him. That's my opinion. I don't know why. They should just sign him. That's my opinion on it. Yeah. I don't think he'll be a Yankee. Yono, I'm not under the opinion that he will be a New York Yankee. I'd say Dominguez, because Jones can play center. So, and you can keep him in AAA, and it's not like you're ruining it's not like you're slowing his development. He's going to start in AAA regardless. So yeah. Is this as in Jason Dominguez? Because like that could work, but like I don't know. Yeah, that is a little bit scary. And I do like Okamoto's a fit for sure. I just don't know if he's going to come here. What do you think is more likely to be a Yankee in their career, Skubal or Skeens? I'd say Skeens because of the proximity for Skubal and like everyone still being under contract that is under contract. Whereas with Skeens, like Cole and Rodon be under contract. So, yeah. I think Yankee source reported that we are. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not like tapped in. That'd be super tough. Super tough. Why aren't we? I just got Josh Johnson PTSD from JD. That's fair. The Yankees don't think he can play center. I don't know why, but they don't think he can play center. I mean, he can't play left field, so I don't know. Yeah, I saw that as well. Durant playing for Mexico. Good for him. Team DR is winning it all. Trust, folks. Trust. I think he's tough. I don't think they're out on him. That I would rather Tucker. I'd rather Tucker and King. I think King, like I'd rather that. So yeah, I'd rather that. I hope they the reason they haven't done anything is because they're working on a big Tatis deal. They're not getting Tatis. They're not getting Tatis. No, I'm going for Team DR. My parents are Dominican. They're from the Dominican Republic. I'm going with Team DR. So yeah. Yes, I'm streaming tonight. Hey, hope you guys compete. Hope you guys go deep into the tournament. In which way, I don't know. In what regard? What do you mean? I don't know. I say a lot of things. I say I don't know is a lot more than I probably should. So just give me the reference as to what this is referred. Give me what you're referring to and what sentence I used it in that you're asking about. Kind of forgot about this. I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna like. If you don't pay for Bellinger, why am I gonna think you're gonna pay for Tucker? Yeah. I try and get Marte, prove he can play big games also. I love Marte. I really do. Dude, I really wish Soto was still a Yankee for this reason. So, yeah, that's my opinion on it. Yeah. I like him. I think he's probably like my preferred free agent starter. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I would still trade for him. Just the stuff and the raw upside and the performance he's had. Man, it'd be pitching, right? Like Warren, Cruz, or Rodriguez, sorry. Those guys, I think you could combine those two and try and go from there. I'd like Ryan Jeffers. Yeah, that's my point here. Like, what do you mean? Like, your backup plan is paying another guy more money? I don't know. Also have Brewers closer PTSD. That's fair, but I still think I would just roll with I don't know. I think Miguel's still a guy. And we have that. I think we make sense from a trade fit for like with the Diamondbacks, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Maybe it's just me, but I've given up on George Lombard Jr. Volpe hit a lot as a minor leaguer, so I don't think it's very similar. I think we're just kind of revisionist historying this. I would give like Lombard was very young at Double-A. Give him some time. Ryan Weathers has like good stuff. Ryan Weathers has like a really interesting mix, but I would prefer more like proven starting pitcher. That's kind of where I'm at. So again, I kind of want to prefer like he throws hard. He misses bats. He's fun. I'd prefer maybe a more like reliable health-wise starter than Weathers. Again, I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't hate it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'd prefer a little more of like a reliable. Like this is a real lottery ticket gamble. And I'm not against that. I'm just not in love with that. Also, a lot of home run damage allowed. Not sure how that's going to translate in New York. I mean, that's not going to happen. This is the Diamondbacks are not doing that. No, they're not doing that. No. Yeah, I think they need to have a big offseason. They need to be active and make sure that happens. Hey, I hope, right? Hope that happens. Yeah, he's off the table. Guy's a stuffed monster, though. He's very good offensively. Let me let's show up the numbers. All right, let's get Ketel Marte this past year, 145 WRC plus last year, 152. Like he was an MVP candidate last year. Back-to-back seasons with elite level offensive and production, 25 plus home runs. Guy's a monster, plays really good defense at second base. Like he's a stud. Ketel Marte's a monster. I would love Ketel Marte. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna start wrapping things up here in the next few minutes, but Ketel Marte's a monster. Hey, hope you have hope something breaks. Hope something breaks, man. See you tonight, man. See you tonight, Mark. I don't think he's gonna start in the bullpen. Yeah, Marte's a monster. He rocks. Yep. Don't think he's a Hall of Famer, but he rocks. I'll be back for the next stream. Awesome. I'll be back live tonight at around 6:30. So yeah, we're gonna start wrapping things up here on Fireside Yankees on this live stream. Again, like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. So I really appreciate that. I'm not smart enough to work in a front office. I'm a fan. I'm emotional. Those are all things that I still suspect. I'm still, so, I don't know what the word is I'm using. I'm still, susceptible to. There we go. I'm still susceptible to these fan emotions that kind of hurt people in their ability to make decisions. 6:30 will be the stream tonight. So again, 6:30, about 2 hours, we'll be back. Appreciate you guys all for tuning in. We'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your night. Let's go Yankees. Peace out, everybody.
Perfect.